Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Writers Chat. This is where we like to gather together as writers and talk about writing, all things writing for writers and by writers. We have a really special kind of fun show here for you today. Brandy's going to take the lead, and we're going to have you guys come on back, and you're guys going to do some, after she does a little bit of a presentation, we're going to have you do some writing prompts today. So Brandy, thank you for leading today, and we look forward to learning and be creative together. So go ahead, Brandy, take it away.
Hi everyone. So this morning we are having a Come Write With Us session, holiday edition. See, I'm all holiday-y with my red sweater. We're going to talk specifically about writing to a publishing schedule or an editorial calendar. Publishers, especially periodicals, run editorial calendars to guide their publishing schedule. It helps them to see the big picture and make sure that they are including important topics that they know their readers want and expect to read. Holidays are inclusions, a big part of this calendar, because you will frequently find that holidays are things they want to highlight. They're universal to everybody. Everybody's got a holiday. Each nation will have specific holidays, and then there's worldwide holidays that are recognized. Pretty much everybody recognizes some form of Christmas and some form of New Year. So editorial calendars make sure that they put them in. Now, the trick with these calendars is that they're often set very far in advance. So before I get into that, you will frequently find these schedules on publisher websites. Sometimes they will be connected to their guidelines, not always, but if you look, you can find them a lot of the time in sections on their website that are geared toward advertisers, because they use these calendars to help sell ad spots in their magazines. So this is a really good thing to know, because not only will these show you a magazine's plans, they will show you what a magazine wants to see and maybe give you some ideas on what to write about. So it's important to be aware of these schedules, especially to write for the holidays, because a lot of the time we're thinking about writing for holidays when the next one is approaching or it's already upon us. And by then it's too late to write something and submit it until the following year. So we're usually, as writers, if we're not thinking about this, we're out of sync with the publishers that we might want to send our holiday material to. So to get ourselves in sync, we need to think more 6 to 9 months in advance, sometimes as far as a year in advance. And that's not something we often are accustomed to thinking about when we write. So while we're thinking about Christmas right now, we may want to write for that, but publishers are already thinking about Mother's Day, Father's Day, summer, beyond. And that's like, oh yeah, I'd love to write about Christmas now, but it's like, wait, Father's Day? Yeah, Father's Day. So here are some tips to get you in sync with holiday writing so that hopefully you can submit and publish some of those holiday pieces that you're thinking about or might want to send or might want to write. So first, check your prospective market's guidelines and see when they want their holiday submissions. A lot of the time they'll put that right in their guidelines, and then scout around those pages geared toward the advertiser that I talked about to find their editorial. Sometimes they'll call it an advertising calendar. But yeah, you can often find that. They didn't always used to put them out on there, but now because they want to attract advertisers, they're putting them out. So they're much more prominent than they used to be many years ago. Second, look for several other markets that appeal to you for the same type of data, because lead times will vary from publisher to publisher. You might have a website that has much shorter lead time than you would a magazine. And it also depends upon how frequently a magazine publishes. So make sure you check around. And then when you do that, make sure that you are allotting enough time on top of their lead time for your writing, your editing, your polishing, and then the submission process, so that you don't accidentally overshoot a publisher's deadline. You'll also find a lot of helpful templates. Whoops, I skipped down my eyes. Third, develop your own editorial, calendar that takes that tells you when to start writing your holiday. And that's what I was talking about. When you make that editorial calendar, then you want to make sure you include that extra time for your writing, your polishing, and then the submitting process. Sorry, I skipped ahead a little bit there if it seemed a little disjointed. What I did miss was that take special notes for markets that you particularly want to write for. Maybe if they have a specific deadline for a certain holiday or something, then note that on your editorial calendar. And then you will find some helpful templates online. I was doing a little scouting around and I find that there are a lot of bloggers and business owners that are using their own editorial calendars to help them in their blogging, their business, to reach their customers and their readership. Fourth, note your favorite markets deadlines. Note the favorite market deadlines on your personal editorial calendar, and then start writing. You can take those ideas from the editorial calendar, because sometimes they'll put ideas, suggestions for those holidays in their calendars for the advertisers, things that they might like to see. And those are really good tips to help us write. So I would like to have everybody else come back on so that we can do a little bit of writing together. We are going to write for 10 minutes to some prompts, and we're going to have 2 sessions of that. And then in between the sessions, we're going to share what we write. And you can write fiction, nonfiction, whatever suits your fancy. A lot of people like to do a little bit of both. Articles are really popular. And when you think about holidays, a lot of the times you need to think about evergreen topics, because holidays are something that come around year after year after year. So when you write for those, you want to think about what is a fresh take on something that might not have been done, but it's still an evergreen topic. So, 12 ways to find unique gifts for your loved ones that not everybody else is going to find right away. I know, something like that. It's evergreen, gift giving is evergreen, but you want to get that little unique twist that maybe a publisher's like, I like that idea. I haven't seen that one in a while or before. All right, so everybody, y'all coming back on for me?
Yeah, everyone's invited to come back right now if you'd like to do the writing prompt, but I know I put some people in Writers Chat jail. If I did put you in jail,
Okay.
if you can't get on, let me know.
All right, and you don't have to come back on to do the writing, of course. We are going to pause the video when we start, but before we do that, I am going to share my screen so that you guys can see the prompts. Now, it might be, let me see, it might be a little tricky. I'm gonna have a huge screen over there. Let me see if I can figure out which way to share my, okay. A couple different ways to do it. I have 2 monitors, so I have to figure out, I have a giant one and I don't want to use a giant one because you're all gonna be like, what is that? All right. Everybody see my screen so far? I see a nod, okay. So I'm going to use this. Okay. Oh, you know what I did? Hold on a minute. Where did it go? It made my thing very strange. Let me try one more thing. I didn't test run my composition screen in Zoom before doing this. So where is, oh, there we go. Much better. So the prompt is, using one of the prompts below, write on one of the following July through September holidays: Independence Day or Bastille Day, Assumption of Mary, Labor Day, Rosh Hashanah, or Yom Kippur. And then the prompts. Prompt 1, when I was a child, the holiday meant what to me, but now. Prompt 2, last holiday was ordinary or unordinary in that, and then show how, and then write one takeaway you found in that. Prompt 3, every holiday I look for, and what do you look for? And this time I want to, probably something a little different, maybe the same. And prompt 4, write 12 steps people can take to make the most of the whatever holiday you choose, season. And that one's really great for nonfiction writers. You can adapt any of these to fiction, nonfiction, 12 steps for fiction writers. You could just do some kind of adaptation on that if you want to. But choose one of these actually there's more than 4 holidays. I try to get in some French holidays for our French writer in residence here. So we are going to pause the recording now, and we're going to write for 10 minutes. If you are joining us later on watching the recording, you can pause this video now, write for 10 minutes, and then unpause it when you're ready to come back and see what the next prompts are. We will do a little bit of sharing online for what we've written when we come back, so you might want to come back and catch those as well. All right. Johnny, are you ready to pause? I'm going to set my timer real quick. I will set us off and then we will pause the recording.
Okay, whenever you say go, I'll pause.
All right, ready, set, go. All right, so I would love to hear what you wrote about. Pardon my mouth, it seems to be a little bit tongue-tied. I would like to know, anybody who would like to share. Wait a minute, let me stop my sharing. There we go, that's much better. So I would like to know what you wrote on. So first tell us, whoever wants to share, the holiday that you chose, and then the prompt that you wrote to, and then share what you're able to write. Anybody want to share? And I might go a little bit out of order because I know a couple of people might not be able to stick around. And if they want to share, I want to give them that opportunity. So would anybody like to share? Pam? You're muted. There you go.
All right. I picked Independence Day just because I'm looking at the list. My brain is so full of Christmas because I'm rehearsing music for Christmas Eve that it's like shifting gears in a weird place, right? But Independence Day for 4th of July, in the United States. And when I was a child, that meant, it's summer, cookouts, fireworks, typical stuff like that. But then to really, really think of not going down the typical independence, like Jesus made us free from, and so what other things can we be independent from? And basically I made a list that I'm independent from what? What am I independent from? I'm independent from despair, but not grief. Control, but not responsibility. Expectations, but not service, like to serve with no expectations of anything back. I'm independent from unhealthy relationships, but not from drawing boundaries. It's one thing some people you got to kick out of your life, right? But drawing a healthy boundary. I'm independent from holding grudges, but not from loving. I'm independent from worldly things, but not joy. And I'm independent from legalism, but not Christian duty. I just read, I don't even know where what I would even do with it, but
I don't know, but I love it so far. My
That's
goodness.
Yeah, that's great.
I need to work on my Christmas Eve, my Christmas morning devotion. Maybe I'll, work something out. Anyway.
You got the start of
what
the
I
article. You should, when you get a chance, see about what markets you could send that to and work it out. That's a good start, really is.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the perspective is great. You want to talk about a unique perspective on an evergreen topic? There you go. That's a really good example.
Absolutely.
Oh, good. I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. So
no, you did a great job on that. That's a perfect example. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else like to share?
Isabel, I think you're muted.
If nobody, I could. It's unfinished, but
well, we only had 10 minutes, so I expect most everybody's is unfinished.
So took Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur because I've been to Israel in 91 and the other had like no meaning for me, or they had bad meanings associated, like revolution or whatever. So I didn't want those ones. And I took the last prompt with the 12 things. And so I just started to write. So I'll just read what I wrote. I was aware of the remaining time while visiting Israel for the first and probably only visit of a life. Maybe it's in a lifetime or of a lifetime. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur were double Shabbat weekends. It meant that the whole life in Jerusalem would be stopped for 2 days in a row instead of one, and 1 week after another. Within so short holidays, I needed to jam-pack activities in advance to fill those days to the brim. Counting my blessings could be the first one. I would journal sweet memories of the previous days and never lose the emotion felt while walking on Jesus's very steps. Writing postcards would be the second meaningful activity. I would need to buy those the day before. Painting landscapes, aquarelles or aquarellas, I don't know how you say in English, to sell at church back home for charity purposes would also do. Nevertheless, I wanted to go out. Long prayer walks in the safe parts of town brought joy and purpose. I had 4 ideas. That wouldn't last the whole 4 days. My Jewish friend said she wouldn't cook because of the Shabbat, but I could be their goy, the non-Jewish servant. She provided me with cleaning, cooking, serving at the table, and taking the dog out. From 4, I got 8 activities. I thought the 12 activities would be perfect, but which one? And now I'm done. I haven't got a clue about the 4 that will be afterwards, but it's fine.
Yeah, and what a unique perspective, because you were in Israel. Not everybody can say that. Even American Jews can't all say that they have been in Israel during those holidays. That's a treasure. I really think you should share that with readers.
But that frustration, when you pay a lot of money to be there for 19 days, and then you've got 2 weekends in a row, double Shabbat, everything's closed, you can't do anything. You're just,
that's a different article, right?
I was in a big group of elderly Danish people and a few students from the Danish Bible school where I was a student. So we were with all these elderly, not the age I'm now, but at that time I was 20, and really locked down beforehand. So yeah, and it was great that those came back. Thank you for allowing me to think back on those days.
And there's another article, and if you want to go for a vacation, check out the country's holidays and make sure that you're going to come at a good time where you can do what you want to do.
Well, it was organized by the Bible school just before school term would start. So, and it was the last days of September, and it was Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. We had no other window, but it was great. It was, I loved being in Israel.
Thank you for sharing. Does anybody else want to share what they wrote on this one? We have another session to do.
I can do real quick. I'm not going to read it because my throat gets a little sore, but I did the one about when I was a child, that prompt and into what 4th of July meant to me, and the way the article went. It was just like kind of, remembering in our 4th of July, I lived on a farm. My dad worked on this farm, and the people that owned it also owned another company. They weren't part of the farming day at all. So, but they had this big picnic every year for their employees of their other company, but the guys that worked on the farm all had to prepare for that. So leading up to 4th of July, we were painting picnic tables. We were doing all this kind of stuff, getting the drinks in, getting ponies for pony rides for the kids. And so the whole day was spent in this picnic area, be kind of pond. And everybody was eating and drinking, and I would babysit for some of the little kids and get paid for it, which was cool, and and so forth. And then when that day was over, we our family would go to Columbus. Grew up in Ohio. Would go to Columbus to a drive-in theater every night. I mean, the drive-in theater on that night, and they would do the fireworks in the movie. So this was like our tradition. But then the writing, as it does, took kind of a turn, because I'm thinking, okay, what about now? And the shift I had was that even my kids growing up, I thought, well, they don't have those kinds of memories that I do. But then I started thinking about what they remembered, and they would. There was a little carnival in the town every, by the lakefront, and then so forth and so on. But then the shift comes where, as we've grown and none of us live in Florida anymore, and we've moved, the holiday is scattered, and it's not like we have those, everybody's moved. And now, I'm close with, I live with Jill. Nathaniel doesn't live too far away, but Bethany's clear in Virginia. But it's like we don't have those consistent holiday traditions anymore, at least for 4th of July. And that made me feel sad. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of all over the place, but it's like starting out with this very, happy, yeah, this is what it was for me as a child. It was fun memories. It makes me feel warm and 4th of July-ish inside just to think about it. And today I couldn't even tell you what we did last year on the 4th of July. I don't have a clue, or the year before, or even the year before that. I mean, it's just like, I don't even know, because we've lost touch with community traditions because of the way we've moved around, which might make an article. I don't know, but that was, that's where my writing led me to this morning.
Yeah, a lot of idea options there for articles too, because you could talk about, what do you do when you've lost the traditions that you always had as a child, or how to rekindle new traditions as an adult,
right?
To connect, or how to connect with your scattered family. There's all different kinds of things you could do with that.
Yeah, so it's always interesting with your prompts, Brandy, because they always take me places I don't expect to go, and would not have given much thought if you did not say, here, sit down for 10 minutes and do this. And it's just fun to see something that just seems very, like, I don't want to say easy, but just like, oh, okay, yeah, I can write about that. But then it just, as you write, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper with these directions that we don't anticipate going. So thank you.
Great. All right, so Sophia, we need to move to the second session, but maybe after we do the second writing session, if there's time, you can share. All right, the second session is going to look at some holidays that are farther out. So these will be October through December holidays, because a lot of publishers are going to be looking at Christmas 2022. So now for some publishers is the time to write for Christmas next year. So I'm going to share my screen again. All right. Ooh, do we got everything on here? Yes, this is everything on here. All right, can you all see it?
Oops. You might want to just a tad if you can.
Oops, there we go. Here, I have a way to make it a little bit better so that everything is on the screen. There we go.
Here's your last one. Yeah, okay, you're good.
Yes, all right. So we have the same 4 prompts. This time I want you to use a different prompt from above and write on one of these October through December holidays: Columbus Day, Halloween or All Saints Day, Armistice Day or Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, and I included New Year because it's right on the cusp and right around that time. So any one of those, choose one of those prompts, but choose a different prompt. Challenge yourself. And we are going to start for 10 minutes again. So everybody ready? Ready? And we're going to pause the recording again. And then after 10 minutes, we'll come back. So pause yourself if you're watching the replay. All right, ready, set, right. All right, 10 minutes is up. Sorry, everybody, for the last time we wrote. I think I accidentally took my screen off what I meant it to be when everybody was writing last time. So this time I got it and left it on. I'm going to leave this up while people share. So I can't see everybody in the chat. So maybe Johnny, you can help me to call on people. And that way people can take a look at the prompts and the holidays while people are sharing. Does anybody want to share?
Yvonne?
I do see Yvonne, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing everybody either, so I'm not sure what I need to do. But so
Okay.
if you do want to share, please say something in the chat, okay?
I raised my hand right away because I need to leave. But I wrote, when I was a child, Christmas meant lots of presents, lights everywhere around the house. Mama was the queen of Christmas. Ornaments in every room and Christmas cookies in every room, in the freezer, in the kitchen, and the large freezer in the basement. And now I've learned 12 steps that are very different from what I grew up with. First, make peace with an aging body and its limitations. Heaven will mean a new one. 2, thank God for clothing, a home, electricity, indoor plumbing, family, and friends. Mary and Joseph fled. 3, make a connection through social media. There was none in the time of Jesus. And yet he left a legacy. Play Christmas carols that focus on the birthday of Jesus. 5, carol at the doorstep of widows or divorced people who are home alone. End with Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and how can I pray for you? And do it there. Buy individually wrapped and sealed treats for those you carol for. Use an online program to send a beautiful Christmas card. 8, ask how you can pray for orphans, dear to the heart of God. Ask for the desire to serve others as Christ did. 10, be brave and stand up for what Jesus did. It cost him his life for you. I'll never pay that much. Have a nativity scene in a window or outside in white. Appreciate travel by car with heated seats, music, and a GPS. Mary rode a donkey. Imagine those bumps and bounces. That's it. I know they're not in the right order yet, and I could hardly read my scribbling, but I'm getting there.
I loved the last one. Mary rode on a donkey with all those bumps. Yeah. Oh, those are great. I like those a lot.
I just thought about that. You know, over Thanksgiving, I had to make an emergency trip. It was 4.5 hours away because my laptop had more than problem with one speaker blown. The other one was close to blowing. And when they opened up my laptop, the battery was swollen. And he said it would have exploded on me. And had I been near it when it exploded, I could have gone blind, deaf, or both.
Wow.
So I thank God for that technician. And I know that has to be in there somewhere. You know, my life was spared. Anyway, And
Thank you for sharing that. I love that.
I just want you to know that I saved almost $1,000 by going down where my friend's technician is.
Good, good.
Um,
I do see a couple of raised hands.
Thank you so much. And I do have to go now. I'm so sorry. It's been
Okay, I'm glad you were able to join with
Blessing.
us and get some writing in next time. All right, so Pam, I see that your hand is up first before Sophia's, but Sophia didn't get a chance to share last time and you did, so I'm going to let Sophia go first.
This one's a little lighter than the last one. The last one was dark, and I need to ask about that. But anyway, I actually got a title, ADDing Through the Holidays. Every Thanksgiving, I get out my special leaf platters and forget to use them. I have grand plans to create a beautiful and festive atmosphere, but it always gets lost amidst the feast preparations. Cleaning, shopping, food prep, and baking swallows the days leading up to Thursday, and my stack of special ceramic leaves is moved out of the way repeatedly until they are stuck in a corner, undiscovered until the cleanup is almost done. Next year, I vow, I will break them out in October. I'd better mark that on my calendar now. This is how I hope to avoid the regret inherent with my ADD. Like how I've told myself to always set timers. I've had too many sweet potato casseroles flambéed in an attempt to toast the marshmallow topping. She who shall not be named was very helpful this year. A, set a timer for the apple pie. A, set a timer for the green beans. That's as far as I got.
Oh goodness, the humor in that is just perfect. I love it. You have to finish that and send it somewhere. You really do.
It might be helpful though, because I didn't discover till just like last year that I actually do have ADD like my kids do. And that's why I'm such a mess. I'm not a mess. I'm not a screw up. I just have to use different strategies than somebody who doesn't have this does. So
Yep, yep.
I'd
Maybe
like to
this,
write an article on that.
mhm.
maybe in our after party, you can ask about your first piece.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All right, Pam, you are up.
Mine is just a whole bunch of notes, but I chose the last Thanksgiving was unordinary in that we all had COVID and my mom had just passed a month before, but I felt good enough to cook on Saturday. Sunday, I lost my taste and smell. I still don't have it back. It's been over a year. And so about 6 months ago, I'm pondering Psalm 37:4, taste and see that the Lord is good. And I'm thinking, I can't taste anything. How do I, and I know it's not, it doesn't mean taste with your mouth, that God, and then I found scripture in Job that says, as the tongue, as the ear tests words, as the tongue tastes food. And so I've been pondering, what do I do with that? So basically I wrote like 3 pages of notes on that I want to work up, and I'm not sure if it's an article. I know it's not a daily Devo, way too many words, and or maybe a Bible study.
Yeah, those are some good thoughts. And goodness, I cannot imagine losing your taste right before. Man, that's
The
a new
last thing I
perspective.
actually tasted was last Thanksgiving's dinner, because I cooked, later, and I can taste like salt and sweet. I can tell you if it's sweet or salty, but specific taste and my smells even, and you don't know how much you need your sense of smell till you can't smell anything. Like at one point, Darren and I we'd pull stuff out of the fridge and we were smelling like, did this go bad? We can't tell, neither one of us can smell. So we would toss it in the back field just in case, because that's where we put our, our garbage for the turkey buzzards and all. But yeah, that was one of the things I guess I can add to my independent of, where I was so frustrated and really, really distressed that I can't taste, because I love to cook and I love to make up my own recipes, and I can't tell what things taste like. And God helped me just let that go. I'm independent of that frustration, I guess, but
Also,
yeah.
think about how many people right now also are experiencing a similar thing, and this wasn't something that was a thing for so many people before COVID. So
Right.
you have probably a unique idea that is identifiable to many in the
Oh, yeah.
population right now that probably publishers might not even been thinking about.
That could
So you
be.
could
'cause
totally apply that to the holidays too, and
Yeah,
and
and-
beyond. Yeah.
Yep, for sure. This
Yeah.
good exercise. I appreciate it.
Now, one thing I was thinking about when I was writing mine was that I answered these from my perspective, like I did when I was a child. The 4th of July meant penny carnivals and challenging games I could win. And then now that I've become blah, 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 I realized I could take that and make that a character in a fiction story, not just nonfiction. Could use that as a profile for a made up character, and then expound on that and add some embellishments to create something unique, so that you could apply these kinds of prompts to fiction as well as nonfiction. So we are at the top of the hour. It is time for us to close, but I believe next week we are having our Christmas party, right, Johnny?
Yes, we are having the Christmas party, and our idea is to bring, well, you say, Brandy, because this was, you know better than I, a digital gift.
Well, us in the writer's chat, the admins at writer chat are going to share a digital gift with everybody here that's a part of our Facebook writers chat members group. And then we encourage everybody here, if you have something that you want to share or give at the Christmas party, whether you want to give the gift of singing us a song, or you have a digital gift that you want to share, we have a way to do that, especially if you're part of the Facebook members. We can collect it and put it there for people to share. But if it's something that you want to gift, words are a gift, right? We have this incredible gift of words. So you could just write something for the people here and share it. So we're just going to have fun, share a little Christmas gift, and just chat and have it's a little writer's chat party.
If you want to have a little treat, you can, because we, of course, can't provide food, but, we can all have our little mugs of hot chocolate and a cookie or whatever you want to do. And it will be the last writer's chat of the year, but we have met, and we already, I think, have clear to March, if not going into April, already planned out for next year. So we've got a good running start on 2022. So yes, please join us. It will just be a very low key writer's chat episode, and it'll be a lot of fun and a lot of just sharing and getting ready for the Christmas holidays. So, Melissa said all the way to the first week of May. So yeah, we did a really great job getting things scheduled, and we're still having to working out, guests and confirming with them, but it's all going to be great. So thanks everybody for being here. If you joined us, if you're watching the replay, we do invite you to join us every Tuesday morning, almost every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. Also to join our Facebook Writers Chat members group, and to check out our other episodes on the Writers Chat Facebook page. So everybody that's here, we're glad that you're here with us. Thank you for that and for participating. And Brandy, thank you. This was really a fun thing to do. So hopefully a lot of you will get ideas for articles, and you'll get them sent in way ahead of time and not just wait. But if you've got Christmas ideas now, write those articles, and in January, February, submit them and see what happens.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I guess I'm going to go. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.